It's definitely a very interesting and kind of different and unique sounding production. Hey everybody, how's it going? I've got another music video reaction / review coming at you today, and this one is for Control by Sung-kyu, who's a member of Infinite. That's a group I do really enjoy, but of course this is a solo track, so let's jump in and check out how this sounds. Logo. Goldfish attack. Really super simple intro. Kind of an interesting artistic choice. It kind of has an overall familiar tonal quality and chord progression. It's common with a lot of ballads. Then of course they've got these like more EDM sounding synthesizers and really fast hi-hat. Almost sounds a little bit like trap-ish. It's kind of like an EDM ballad, a little bit, if I had to describe it, I guess. Really stripped down backing track. There's not a whole lot going on, which does bring the focus to the vocals. I'm sure that's what they were going for. Something about the chord progression in the chorus reminds me of like 80s music. I'm not exactly sure why. The synthesizers too a little bit. They have a little bit of that like 80s flavor, but are mostly like modern EDM type synths, which do have a lot of similarities a lot of times to, you know, 80s pop songs. Cool vocal processing here. I definitely like this pickup in energy, the build up and the bridge. Definitely caught my interest a lot more. The vocals got a lot more intense and exciting too. I'm hearing a lot of like detune or maybe a little bit of chorus on the vocals. I think it's detune though. It doesn't warble like a chorus does. It's a lot of it though on the voice, especially when he does the intense vocal runs. They've added a lot of this effect on there. I was waiting for them to resolve that. They did nicely. And that's it. Well, that was pretty cool. I'm not exactly sure what to think about the track. It was kind of like an EDM ballad, if such a thing even exists. It's definitely a very interesting and kind of different and unique sounding production. Like, some of the stuff is extremely simple and just a basic beat and very stripped down, just with, you know, very minimal backing track and vocals. And the balance of everything sounded good for those parts. And obviously what they were trying to do with those sections is give the song like a low point, so when you get to the parts like in the chorus where there's a lot more energy, it has a bigger impact because you're coming from you know, a lower energy point. But when we do finally get into the chorus, I felt like the vocals got a little bit buried by the rest of the track. And this is not a knock on his singing, I'm talking about the mix. His vocals needed to be up a little bit higher in the mix. I mean, I'm listening on NS10s, which have a huge bump in the mid-range, and they generally make voices stick out a little more than they normally would on other types of speakers, and still I was like fighting to really focus or hear the lead vocal parts during the higher energy parts of this song. So that's definitely an issue that I noticed and I wanted to talk about immediately. But everything else sounded pretty good, and overall the song was definitely interesting. I'm not sure if it's my favorite thing in the world, but there's some cool things going on. So let's jump back in here and analyze this song. Here we go. This intro was just so basic sounding, so simple, like overly simple, just octaves. It's interesting though how it leads into the vocals here. It does set it up to kind of make you expect something a little bit different. And I do like the singing. The vocals were very well executed. What I was talking about before is really a mixing issue. It's not anything wrong with how he was singing. And I do like the tone of his voice, and his singing style is pretty cool. You know, the sort of intro parts of the verses, really super low energy, and then this section comes in, it's just like boom, it hits you with a wall of sound. I'm sure that's what they were going for, and they succeeded in doing that. I'm not sure if I absolutely loved the overall sound of this section of the song. The synthesizers are a little bit screechy, a little bit obnoxious. And I'm somebody who likes synthesizers like that, but for a song like this, I just felt like it was a little bit too far out there tonally. If they could have reined that back in just a little bit, it would have really gelled with the song a little better, I think, and not really taken away any impact when they come in. Like, if you listen to the synthesizer here, before, you know, the intense part comes in, it kind of sticks out. It doesn't fit in with the other elements of the song. And I don't think it's supposed to, but in my opinion, I just thought it was a little bit too far out there. It should have been a little closer to the sort of ballad feel of the low parts of the song. I really like the vocals here. A lot of layers, and it sounds like a lot of detune as well. Yeah, definitely some detune here. It's giving it that a little bit like metallic, like the magical sound on the vocals. That's what detune does when used correctly. It just gives a little bit of like magic. You can really hear it working here. And see, now those synthesizers sound very appropriate when the style of the song changes. So it does end up working out. It's just, I would have liked if they had maybe put an EQ on them and taken some of the high end out during the earlier parts of the song. There's a lot of different ways you could do that, or just simply used a different synthesizer tone for those parts. But it does work out at the end. The second half of the song I liked a lot more than the first half. It just really gets intense and kind of emotional. The soundscape with all the tones together, the heavily detuned voice, and these synthesizers, it just works. Yeah, this sounds just huge, especially coming out of that bridge with the epic lead vocals. Then they nicely resolved that chord. I was going to be mad if they didn't resolve that, but they did with that cool rotary speaker organ type sound, so I was glad they did that. Overall, I thought this was a pretty cool track. It did have some issues that I pointed out, but especially like the second half of the song was just so well done and really kind of emotional and like uplifting feeling, and in the end I think it did kind of overcome those issues. And this song was actually part of a double release today, so I'm going to be checking out that song next. You can check out my video reaction / review to that right here. I'm going to put a link up once that video is finished. And I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. If you could share this video all over the place, Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, forums, all that stuff really helps us out, and I'll see you guys next time.